This fanfiction is only for entertainment purposes, so please don't take it seriously and don't be offended. It's just a story made out of imagination, so it doesn't define any character in real life. I hope you'll enjoy the story and leave positive comments without hating the author and character. I don't own any pictures, but the storylines are completely mine. I will do voiceover so you can mute it if you want. Hope you will like the video.
The room was silent. A soft, warm light glowed from the bedside lamp. Red rose petals were scattered on the white sheets, and the sweet scent of jasmine filled the air. You sat on the edge of the bed, wearing your red silk nightwear, long sleeves, soft fabric, but your legs were bare. Your hands were cold, fingers playing with the edge of the blanket. You didn't know where to look or how to sit properly. Everything about this felt new, awkward, and scary. Your heart was thudding in your chest like a loud drum. Your professor. No, your husband now, Kim Taehyung, the man who once stood in front of the classroom in crisp white shirts and deep voice, was now going to walk into this room, not as a teacher, but as your husband. The thought alone made your face turn red. The door creaked open. You quickly turned your head. Your breath stopped. He stepped in. Wearing a plain black satin robe over his bare chest, his damp hair falling over his forehead, and a soft smile dancing on his lips, Taehyung looked like a sin wrapped in silk. Taehyung, God. He whispered while closing the door behind him, locking it without even looking. His voice was raspy, low. Taehyung, you look like a dream, sweetheart. You looked down immediately, trying to hide your burning cheeks. Taehyung chuckled, walking slowly toward you. Taehyung, still shy, even now? I thought after becoming my wife, my favorite student would finally give me some attention. He teased gently, his voice teasing but full of affection. You tried to speak, but the words didn't come. You only nodded, still unable to meet his eyes. He leaned forward, placing one hand on the bed beside you and the other lifting your chin gently. Taehyung, look at me, Jae. It's me. The same professor who used to watch you drop your pen 5 times in one class just to get my attention. He whispered. Your eyes widened. Why you knew? He laughed softly, eyes twinkling. Taehyung, of course I knew. I even bent to pick it up sometimes just to see that cute panic on your face. You turned away, face fully red. He slowly sat beside you on the bed and took your hand in his. Taehyung, I know you're not good at showing your feelings. You're cold on the outside, but I've seen the way you look at me when you think I'm not noticing. And tonight. He leaned closer, his lips brushing your ear, voice like velvet. Taehyung, you're all mine. Your breath caught. His words lit a fire inside your stomach. He slowly pushed your hair back and softly kissed the side of your neck. Taehyung, tell me to stop, and I will. But if you don't say anything now, then I won't hold back anymore. He murmured, his hand trailing down your back. You didn't say a word. You couldn't. And that silence was the only answer he needed. He smirked. Taehyung, good girl. He whispered, voice dark now. Taehyung, just the way I like. He moved you gently, laying you back on the bed. His eyes scanned you slowly, hungrily, and yet lovingly. Taehyung, you don't know what you do to me. He whispered against your skin. Taehyung, when you'd sit on the first bench, biting your lip while reading, do you know how hard it was to stay a professor? You arched slightly when he kissed your stomach, his fingers pulling your nightwear up inch by inch. Taehyung. You finally whispered, voice shaking. He looked up, amused. P. Taehyung, did you just moan my name like that? Damn, my cold girl is melting. He was teasing, but his voice was laced with desire. Pure, raw desire. Every kiss was slow. Every touch made you feel like your skin was burning. You had never felt this way before. Never been touched like this. You gripped his shoulders tightly, digging your nails into his back. He groaned against your neck. Taehyung, be careful. He whispered, voice heavy. Taehyung, or I'll fall even harder for you. You looked at him. Yn, you already have. You said softly. His lips froze. Then he smiled. A full, beautiful, boyish smile that reached his eyes. Taehyung, finally, my cold girl speaks. He said, kissing your forehead. The night continued, with slow breaths, shaky hands, stolen moans, and promises whispered against bare skin. He made love to you like he was reading a poem. Slowly. Deeply. Passionately. He didn't just claim your body. He claimed you. The morning light gently streamed into the room, falling across your face like a soft touch. You blinked slowly, your body still heavy, your legs sore, and your skin tingling from the night before. You could still feel his kisses on your neck, your collarbone, your thighs. You turned slightly on the soft bed, and there he was. Kim Taehyung. Sleeping next to you like a Greek god. One arm stretched over your waist, bare chest rising and falling slowly, hair messy, lips slightly parted. You stared at him. How could someone look this beautiful even while sleeping? You tried to sit up, but the moment you moved, a strong arm pulled you back roughly, straight into his chest. A sleepy groan escaped his lips. Taehyung, where do you think you're going, Mrs. Kim? He mumbled against your neck, voice raspy from sleep. Taehyung, running away after ruining your professor last night? You immediately turned red. Yn, I didn't ruin you. You whispered in shock, struggling in his arms. Taehyung, oh really? Then why do I feel like my soul left my body last night and came back only now? He smirked, eyes still closed. Yn, Taehyung. You slapped his arm lightly, but he only chuckled and tightened his hold around you. Taehyung, you were wild. My quiet, cold girl turned into a little minx. You scratched my back like a cat in heat. He whispered in your ear, his breath warm. Yn, I didn't. Taehyung, you did. He said smugly, showing his arm where faint red marks still lingered. Taehyung, see? You marked your husband like he's your property. You covered your face with both hands. Yn, I hate you. You mumbled behind your palms. He chuckled again, gently removing your hands and kissing your forehead. Taehyung, no, you don't. You love me. You just don't know how to say it yet. He said softly. You looked up at him, his sleepy eyes, his soft smile, the way he was completely wrapped around you like you were the most precious thing he owned. Maybe he was right. Maybe you did love him. Even if you couldn't say it yet. Your eyes softened. He cupped your cheek gently, brushing a strand of hair behind your ear. He whispered. Taehyung, let's stay like this today. No classes. No books. No pretending. Just you and me. Husband and wife. You nodded silently. He pulled you on top of him, letting your head rest on his chest. His heartbeat was calm, steady, warm. Taehyung, I used to dream of this, you know. Lying in bed with my favorite student, but in a way where the world calls her mine. He whispered. You smiled softly. Yn, I used to dream of this too. You admitted in a low voice. He looked at you, surprised. Taehyung, you did? You nodded shyly. Yn, but I never thought you'd look at someone like me. His eyes turned serious. Taehyung, I never looked at anyone else. He said. And he kissed you again. Slowly. Tenderly. Deeply. Just like last night, but this time, not with hunger, but with love. The sunlight now filled the whole house. You stood in the kitchen, wearing one of Taehyung's oversized white shirts. It hung off your shoulder, long enough to cover your thighs but short enough to make your legs feel bare. His scent wrapped around you, mixed with the smell of coffee and toasted bread. You were trying your best to cook breakfast, standing awkwardly near the stove, frowning at the frying pan. You held a spatula like it was a sword. The egg was stuck. And slightly burnt. Why does it look like I'm fighting World War III with this omelette? You mumbled. Just then, a voice came from behind you, deep and teasing. Taehyung, because you're the only girl I know who can ruin eggs while looking this sexy. You jumped slightly, startled. Taehyung. You gasped, turning around, only to crash straight into his bare chest. He wasn't wearing a shirt. Only his gray sweatpants. Messy hair. Sleepy eyes. And a wicked smirk. You stepped back quickly, trying not to look down. But your eyes betrayed you. He caught it. He clicked his tongue. Taehyung, tsk. My cold wife is checking me out before breakfast? Naughty girl. I wasn't. You shouted, cheeks red. I was just, looking at the floor. Taehyung, which part of my abs is the floor, baby? You grabbed the nearest thing, an apple, and threw it at him. He caught it like a pro. Taehyung, violent too. He added. Taehyung, remind me not to tease you too much, or you might actually kill me. You mumbled, turning back to the pan. You should be scared. Your wife is bad at cooking and has anger issues. He came closer, wrapping his arms around your waist from behind. His chin rested on your shoulder. He whispered softly. Taehyung, I don't care about the food. You in my shirt, looking annoyed and messy, is my favorite breakfast. Your breath hitched. You should eat the omelette before saying romantic lines. It might kill you. You said quickly, trying to focus on flipping it. It tore. sh*t. You whispered. He chuckled. Taehyung, okay, step aside, Mrs. Kim. Let Professor Husband teach you how to make a proper breakfast. You crossed your arms and stepped back. Fine. Let's see. He cracked the eggs in one hand like a pro, added a little milk and seasoning, and poured it in with ease. You stared, amazed. Are you really a professor or a secret chef? He looked over his shoulder and winked. Taehyung, I'm everything you want me to be, sweetheart. You rolled your eyes, but your heart fluttered. Then he tasted the final omelette and walked over, holding out a bite for you with a fork. You leaned in slowly. Just as you took the bite, he suddenly kissed the corner of your lips. Taehyung, you had egg there. He said with a smirk. I didn't. Taehyung, you do now. He said, pulling you into another kiss, hotter, longer, slower. The pan sizzled behind you. The kitchen was a mess. But in that moment, all that mattered was his kiss and the way your heart beat faster every second. You pulled away breathlessly. Breakfast is going to burn. You whispered. He looked at you. Taehyung, let it. He replied. After the breakfast chaos, the two of you returned to the bedroom. The sunlight was softer now, pouring through the curtains, casting golden shadows across the messy sheets, the same sheets that still carried the scent of your wedding night. You sat cross-legged on the bed, nibbling on a slice of apple, wearing a shirt and a pout on your face. Taehyung walked in, rubbing his damp hair with a towel. Drops of water rolled down his chest. And he knew you were watching. He smirked. Taehyung, he said slowly, walking towards the bed. Taehyung, if you keep staring at me like that, I might think you want a second round. You choked on your apple. I wasn't staring. He sat beside you on the bed, pulled the apple from your hand, and took a bite from the same slice, eyes locked on yours. Taehyung, you're such a bad liar. Even worse than your cooking. He whispered. You glare. Shut up. But your cheeks were already pink. Taehyung laughed, then gently pushed you down on the bed, hovering over you, one hand beside your head, the other tracing the buttons on the shirt you were wearing, his shirt. Taehyung, do you know how dangerous you are like this? He asked in a deep voice. Taehyung, wearing my clothes, lying in my bed, looking like a sin and acting like an angel. I'm not doing anything. You whispered. He whispered back. Taehyung, that's the problem. You're just lying here, looking at me with those big eyes like you don't know how badly I want to kiss you again. He leaned closer. You felt your heart stop. And then, he kissed your nose. You blinked. What was that? He grinned like a mischievous boy. Taehyung, you thought I was going to kiss your lips, didn't you? You slapped his chest lightly. I hate you. Taehyung, no. He whispered, brushing your hair back. Taehyung, you love me. You looked into his eyes, and this time, you didn't look away. I do. I love you, Kim Taehyung. You whispered. His eyes softened. He leaned in again, and this time, his lips met yours. Slow, deep, full of everything unsaid. His fingers tangled in your hair, your arms circled his neck, and time just stopped. When he pulled back, he rested his forehead against yours. Taehyung, I waited so long to hear that. You were always my favorite. Not just in class, but in life. He said, voice low and emotional. Your fingers traced his jaw, your voice small. Promise me you'll never stop teasing me? He chuckled. Taehyung, only if you promise to keep blushing every time I do. Deal. He pulled the blanket over both of you, lying beside you, his arm draped over your waist, legs tangled, breath warm on your neck. And like that, your story didn't end. It just began. With tangled sheets, stolen kisses, and a forever that smelled like coffee, apples, and your professor's perfume. Rose the end rose.